Hello students, welcome back. In today's class, we are going to study about classification of microbes. Among the living organisms, microorganisms are largest in number. Hence, they need special way of classification. They are classified as follows. Microorganisms are mainly classified as prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes include bacteria and eukaryotes include protista, fungi and algae. Now let's study about each of this in details. First, we will be studying about bacteria. Bacteria are microscopic single cell organism. Microscopic means we can see them only through microscope. Bacteria were among the first life forms to appear on Earth and are present in most of the habitats like water, earth, land, everywhere it is present, even in air. Let's study about the characteristics of bacteria. Size of bacteria is 1 micrometer to 10 micrometer. That is, these are very small in size. Bacteria are unicellular, independent, parasitic organism. Parasitic means depends on other. Sometimes bacteria together form colonies. They stay in a group. Bacterial cell is a prokaryotic with cell wall. As you can see here, it's a cell wall. Cell wall you can see in case of this bacteria. But distinct nucleus or cell organelle are absent. See, this is the cell structure from inside. Can you see any nucleus here, children? No. So, distinct nucleus or cell organelles are absent. Then going to their reproduction, they reproduce by simple binary fission. Binary means two. As see, you can see in the diagram, one bacteria is being stretched and it is getting divided into two. Fission means cutting. So, binary fission means dividing into two. Very clearly you can see that. In favorable conditions, bacteria grow vigorously and can double their number in 20 minutes. So just in 20 minutes, they can regrow their number. Let's study some examples of bacteria. Some examples are coccus, we have Coccobacillus, we have Bacillus, we have Spiralium, and we have Vibrio shape or comma shape bacteria. Okay, so these are the different bacteria and their structure, and there are some bacteria which are very useful to us and some are there which are harmful. So I hope you understood the characteristic of bacteria. Okay, now we go to the second one. This is protozoa. The size is approximately 200 micrometer. So small in size. Now children, you can see this protozoa. Now this protozoa is not actually how it looks. I mean, these are very small. You cannot see it with a normal eye. So you have to use it or you have to see it under microscope. So this is the picture of protozoa that is taken from microscope. Okay, so actual life, if you go to see protozoas, you will not see such a big protozoas moving everywhere. Okay, this is a picture that is taken from microscope. Now let's study about the characteristics of protozoa. Where we find protozoa, what are the characteristics, we will study this. Protozoa, the size is approximately 200 micrometer as we already discussed. These are the protozoas that are found in soil or fresh water or sea water. So as you can see that it is found in all the three habitats: soil, fresh water and sea water. Some are also found in the body of other organisms and are pathogenic. So we find it in the body of other organisms, and pathogenic means disease causing. they cause us various disease. Now these are, as you can see that, these are all unicellular organism with eukaryotic type of cell. Eukaryotic cell is a developed cell. So unicellular organisms with eukaryotic cell. There is a great variation in the cell structure, organ of locomotion and mode of nutrients among protozoa. So variation in their cell structure that we can see, as I told you, under microscope, the organs of locomotion, how they move and how they take food, these are altogether different. These organisms reproduce by cell division, division of cell. As you can see that one organism, how it is getting divided into two. So simply the cell is getting divided into two parts, two division. Now let's see about the examples. We have amoeba and paramecium. These are free living in dirty water. We have entamoeba histolytica, which causes amoebiosis. So these are present in the human body. Amoebiosis is a disease where a person has to, a dysentery or loose motion, a person has to suffer. Then we have the Plasmodium vivax, which causes malaria. Plasmodium vivax are present in the body of these human beings or maybe animal, and that causes us the malaria. And then we have Euglena, which are autotrophic. That means they can make their own food. Okay, moving further to fungi. The size is approximately 10 micrometer to 100 micrometer. Again, fungi are small in size, but we can see them with a normal eye. Okay, so very often in rainy season, we can see fungus growing on all the articles we have studied last year, leather articles or other food articles. If not kept properly, the growth of fungus we can see. And we can actually see fungus by a normal eye. Now let's study about the characteristic of fungus in details. Where we are finding fungi and what is the what is their, how they grow and how we can see them. Okay. Fungi are found on decaying organic matter and on dead bodies of plants and animals. So very often we see this situation where we find the fungi on the dead bodies or decaying organic matter. Now these are eukaryotic organism. You can see that the cell is eukaryotic. That means it's a developed cell. Some are unicellular and other are visible with naked eye. Okay, now some are unicellular, that means very small, where some are visible with naked eye. Now children, this particular fungi, they include a variety of organism, very small and big also. Now in this picture you can see mushrooms. Mushrooms very clearly we see everywhere. So we can see it with a normal eye. They have saprotrophic mode of nutrition. That means they absorb their food from decaying organic matter. Okay, now you can see here these fungi or this mushroom that are grown on a dead decaying matter. So they obtain the nutrition from dead decaying organic matter. Now coming to their reproduction. They reproduce sexually as well as asexually by cell division or by budding. So you can see these small buds are there. So either they divide by division of cell or by budding. So various mode of division or cell division they show. Now some examples we can see the baker's yeast. Then we have some example like candida. These are these which sometimes we get these infection on our tongue. So these are being caused by these fungus. And then mushroom, which are used for either eating purpose or for making some kind of medicines, but not all, because some mushrooms are wild, we cannot eat them. So I hope you understood about the class fungi. Number 4, algae. The size is approximately 10 micrometer to 100 micrometer. So basically, algae are the living organism that we can see with our normal eyes. Children, in rainy season, we see the growth of algae on wall. And how do we recognize this? The green color, sticky, very small plants that we can see on the walls, or sometimes in water. The complete water is covered by this green color algae. So let's study about the characteristics of this particular living organism, algae. Now, what is the color of that, how it looks, what is the cell structure, we will be studying as a characteristics. And algae are aquatic. Aquatic means mostly we get it in water. So, as you can see from the diagram, we see the growth of algae on water. So, if you take a close look, it looks something like this. These are eukaryotic, unicellular and autotrophic organism. Eukaryotic means cell is very well developed. Unicellular means single cell, and autotrophic organism. What is autotrophic? Autotrophic means organisms that can make their own food, and algae can very well do that because they have green color chloroplast present. Okay, so by the process of photosynthesis, or photosynthesis is carried out with the help of chloroplast. This is how the chloroplast look from inside, and this is present in the cell. So they are autotrophic. Now some examples of algae is the chlorella or the clematominus. These are the algae that are some examples we have. Very few species of algae are unicellular, but most of them are multicellular and visible with the naked eye. So very few are unicellular, but most are multicellular, we can see with the normal eye. So I hope algae is clear to everybody. And the last one, those are viruses. Size is approximately 10 nanometer to 100 nanometer. Means these are very small. Generally, viruses are not considered as living organisms, or they are said to be organisms at the edge of living and non-living. Okay, so they have a body, but they are not considered as a living organisms as such. They are at the edge. Edge means border. They are on the border of living and non-living. That means sometimes they show the characteristics of living organism, or sometimes they show the characteristics of non-living organism. They are studied under microbiology. Microbiology is the study of microscopic, that means small organisms such as bacteria, virus, fungus and protozoa. So that study, now like you are doing the study of science. So in science, one part is microbiology, where you study all these very small microorganisms. Now let's study about the characteristics of viruses. And children, remember, this is the coronavirus, because of which we all are at home nowadays. We have to take care. Okay, still now scientists are finding very hard to find a medicine or to find a vaccine, but we have not succeeded yet. So we have to take care and stay at home. So this villain virus we will be studying today. These viruses are extremely minute. They are very small, 10 to 100 times smaller than bacteria, and we can see them only with electron microscope. So size is very small. Okay, they are very small, very minute, and they can be seen only with electron microscope. Electron microscope is a special type of microscope which shows very small this living organism. Very small organisms we can see with the help of electron microscope. So these viruses, see, this is how the electron microscope looks. This is a scale. So these viruses are very minute, very small. We can see them only through electron microscope. Now, such a small creature, such a small microorganism, how it exists? They are found in the form of independent particles, just like small particles. You all know sand, how small particles are there. Like that, this also very small particles are there. Virus is a long molecule of DNA, that is deoxyribose nucleic acid, or RNA, that is ribonucleic acid. Okay, and it is covered by a protein cell which are found by both plant as well as animal. So it's a DNA, that is deoxyribose nucleic acid, and RNA, which is a protein code. As you can see here, deoxyribonucleic acid is here. Okay, and then it is covered with a protein, and it is found in plant as well as in living or other organism. And virus survive only on living plant or animal cell and produce their own protein with the help of host cell. So individually they cannot survive. They can survive only if they are in the body of living plant or animal. And then they make their own protein with the host cell. Host cell means, suppose the virus is in my body. So I am the host cell for virus. And then it creates its numerable replica. Replica means increasing in number. 1 to 100 to 1000 to lakh, and they increase very fast. And then they destroy the host cell and become free. And these free virus again infect the new cell. So once they are released, they are free, and then these viruses can cause many diseases to plants and animals. And as I told you, one of the disease that we are studying or we are experiencing nowadays is coronavirus or COVID-19, which is again caused by these virus. Hope to get medicine fast on this so that we can meet in school. Okay, so I hope you are very clear about the 5 different type of microorganisms that we have studied and their characteristic. Now we move further. Finally, we will study some more viruses, or which are the viruses that are present in human or plants or animals. Let's see. So in human, we have the polio virus, then we have the influenza virus, then we have the HIV or AIDS virus, which causes us these different diseases. Then coming to cattle, they have this picorna virus, which is responsible to cause various infections in cattle, like they have the infection in the stomach or infection of throat or foot or mouth disease. All these diseases in foot or mouth disease infection, bacterial viral infection is there. Then we have in plants the wilt virus, which is present in tomato, or the tobacco mosaic virus. And in bacteria, we have the bacteriophage. Now children, what is this bacteriophage? See, this is a bacteria, and that virus attacks the bacteria. Now there are some good bacteria that we use for various purposes, like for example curdling of milk, or to prepare curd we use a lactobacillus bacteria. So what happens is this virus can attack the bacteria also. Means they are also very small, bacteria also very small, but still virus can attack the bacteria. So we have to be you can say you have to be very careful about this, so that all these diseases or all these viruses should not attack our body. So with this we have come to the end of the lesson. I hope you all understood the lesson well. So notes I will be sending in the PDF form to your class group. So please take care, stay home, stay safe. This is your teacher Meenal Parera signing off for lesson number 1. Thank you very much. Take care. God bless you.